everybody, Shane here, Shoebox Legends. Thanks for tuning in for my 2025 YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame ballot. I've never participated in this process before, but I feel a little bit badly about that. And so I want to jump into the fray this year and really just give a shout out to 10 channels that I enjoy so much that make fantastic content that have been at it for a while. But to keep the video interesting as well, I know not everybody is into this. I do have an item from my collection that somehow reminds me of all 10 of these channels, whether it was inspired by them or just reminds me of them. And so let's get right down to it. These are in alphabetical order, not in order by favorite or anything like that. We're going to start with one that I don't know if I've seen mentioned on any other ballots yet, which is a shame to me. And that is my buddy CW over at Card HOF. Great channel. Collects very differently than me and has a very different channel than I do. He is primarily pack opening, although he does do collection showcases and collection break giveaways and all kinds of other cool material. But most days over there, he is opening wax, but he does it in a way that is very different and refreshing. He's not a modern breaker who's getting all amped up. He's got a great sense of humor, a great knowledge of the game, a fan of multiple sports, and just an incredible dry wit. And I really find his videos to be like a refreshing break from my day. I've been following him as long as he has been on YouTube, since his first few videos. He is well over 1,000 subscribers now and growing, and can't recommend his channel enough. And as my Card HOF item, appropriately, I figured I would rip a pack quick here. Had this on the pack shelf. This is 2023 Topps Heritage. And this one's for you, CW. Don't open a lot of wax on the channel, but I do enjoy it. And let's see what we got. Unlikely to pull much from a single pack, but we got Elvis Andrus, Brian De La Cruz, Jazz Chisholm Jr., and of course these are on the 74 design, Kyle Schwarber, Tony Kemp, got an all-star catcher here, Wilson Contreras, and Alejandro Kirk. And then we got a backwards card. That's pretty cool. Jordan Walker, rookie cards. I don't know if this is like an image variation or a short print or what. He had a kind of a disappointing up and down season last year with St. Louis. Gerard Encarnacion, and then we close out with a Michael Chavis, former Boston Red Sox. So check out Card HOF at the link below. Very, very deserving. Someone who's not really maybe affiliated with a lot of the other channels in our corner of the community that participate in the Hall of Fame vote, but is equally deserving of your time if you're into that type of thing. Next up, great friend of mine, Doug over at DK Cardboard. Now, Doug has been a little bit slower in the hobby over the last year, and with good reason, but nonetheless, I look over a channel's entire history when I'm kind of deciding on my vote process here, and Doug has put out some amazing content during the time that I've been on YouTube and before I joined YouTube, and he's been very inspirational to me in a lot of ways. He's got a fantastic eye for cardboard, very selective, and gets, great examples of the cards that he picks up. And he's also really motivated me on the Negro Leagues front. He was somebody who I found very early on, who had a lot of great videos about that topic. And that is something that I've been focusing on over the last year or two, largely inspired by Doug. And here is a card that he inspired me directly to pick up. Learned about the existence of this T207 Jack Barry way back when on Doug's channel, and ended up picking up my own copy a year or two later. And to this day, it is still one of the most aesthetically pleasing baseball cards in my collection. So great collection, obviously known for Dougie K, his alter ego, who's hilarious. But Doug is just a genuine, nice guy with a great sense of humor and a really impressive collection. I consider him a friend even outside YouTube. We talk on the phone about not just cards, but all types of things. And he's as good a guy as you'll meet. He's got as interesting a collection as you'll see, and I think very deserved of a Hall of Fame vote. Next up, I guess number 3 for me, we got back-to-back Dougs here. Don't Talk to Robots. Fantastic channel out of the Chicago area, the greater Chicago area. Doug is a super talented artist, as you can see by this sticker, custom sticker that he made, featuring the Transformers Don't Talk to Robots DTR logo, which is just one of many signs of Doug's genius. But he is somebody who just approaches the hobby with so much fun. He's just in it for all the right reasons. He is not an influencer or looking to gain subs or anything like that. He's just having a blast, embracing cards, opening cards, and often involves his family. He supports so many channels in the community, does a fantastic Advent giveaway every holiday season with a post every day during the month of December, giving away just tons of cards. And the effort that goes into that, I try to send out care packages every year, and it's time consuming to package up cards and print labels or go to the post office and track. And I really, really admire everything that Doug does on that front to give back to other collectors. And Doug is a huge Ken Griffey Jr. fan. So I'm going to break this one out again. This was on the channel not too long ago. A 2017 Rediscover Topps buyback of Ken Griffey Jr.'s rookie card from 1989 Topps traded. Doug has one of the largest Griffey collections around that I'm aware of in the channels that I watch anyway, and my friends in the hobby, so I know he'll appreciate that one. So check out Doug over at Don't Talk to Robots. Next up, a guy who's, destined to be like almost a unanimous first ballot YouTube Sports Card Hall of Famer, and with good reason. My good friend Dylan over at Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. Great friend of mine, tremendous enthusiasm. You've heard it all on practically every one of these response videos that's been posted. He just has a contagious appreciation for the hobby and cards, not just vintage as the name would imply, but modern and so many other great things. He's as friendly a guy as you'll meet. I've gotten really, really close with Dylan. We all kind of gravitate towards different groups of collectors. We can't watch everybody's content and be friends with everyone. There's just way too many people in this community, but Dylan is one of those who I have formed a really close relationship with. We share a lot in terms of our approach to the hobby, our approach to life, and I consider him a friend outside of YouTube and outside of cards at this point. Here is a fantastic card that he sent my way this past year from 2011 Topps Chrome, and this is from his own collection with his Double D custom color matching slab that he's gotten into over the past year with these Mag Pros. But everything you've heard in every other video nominating Dylan for the Hall of Fame is true. I think, without showing too much favoritism here, he deserves it as much as any channel in existence. And I'm confident that we will be celebrating his enshrinement in a couple of months here, or in a month here, whenever that takes place. Next up, a channel that I've also known for quite a long time, Eddie over at Eddie's Cardboard Chaos. Another guy who just, I tried to, with all of these votes, pick people who are just super passionate about the hobby and collecting and showing off their collections. I'm not a big hobby news guy. I don't subscribe to channels with hobby updates and drama. I'm really a head in the sand type collector. And so my favorite type of content are just other collectors like me, or as other collectors like me, who just really appreciate cards in all different forms. And Eddie is certainly that. He's a huge TTMer, which I don't even get into myself. But just like Card Wolf with the unopened packs, I love Eddie's TTM content. I like watching things that are outside my normal realm of collecting. I'm already familiar with the stuff that I collect. So, yes, I will watch videos about that, but I prefer videos where I'm seeing other rabbit holes and learning new things. Eddie's been at it for many years, a really consistent poster, and that carries a lot of weight to me as well. Going all the way back, I think 5+ years, if I'm not mistaken. And Eddie's channel was involved in the very first giveaway win that I ever had here on the platform. This was probably 2.5 years ago. He did a VR where you had to make your own custom card, and I still have mine. I made this Billy Hamilton out of a few copies of his Stadium Club card. Love the speed that's portrayed on this one, so I kind of went with a layered effect that you could fold out to give the effect of, almost like those multi-exposure upper deck cards from back in the day. So this was my X-Acto knife creation for Eddie, Scott from Reindeer Studios, and one other collector, I think Tony Black, for their contest way back in the day. And I actually won and got a box of 92 Fleer Ultra baseball, which I still have on my pack shelf and pull from time to time. And that was the first prize that I ever won here in the community. So Eddie, thanks for all you do. I think chaos is accurate, but it's a controlled chaos though. And you share a lot of similarities with the way that I approach the hobby. I hope you know how much I appreciate your content, even if I can't watch every video. I love what you do, and you are very, very deserving of one of my 10 votes. Next up, this is someone who I actually don't communicate with all that often, although I would love to change that in the coming year. Al from Iconic Baseball. So I don't want to just vote for my friends here with my 10 votes. I tried to be really just get down to brass tacks and look at the facts and look at the uploads and the quality of the collections and the quality of the videos and frequency of posting. And on all of those fronts, I just kept coming back to Al over at Iconic Baseball, known, of course, for his Top 100 series, where he curated like a museum quality sports card and memorabilia collection. But he does so much more than that. Collaborations with his brother. Always see him in the chat and collaborating with other people in the community, and just somebody who's really involved out at shows. Obviously is a true passionate fan of baseball, the game itself, which I really appreciate. And so Al, even though we don't talk as much as I wish we did, hopefully we can change that in the coming year. And you are certainly well deserving of one of my 10 votes. And I have kind of a banger card here that I've never shown. I've owned this since before I started the channel and never really found an excuse to drag it out. But this is one that I think is worthy of Al's collection. Check this one out. The T206 Rube Waddell in a lowly PSA 1.5. That's fine. I'm just happy to have any playing era card of this guy. Became fascinated with him during the Ken Burns baseball documentary. And that's another reason that it's fitting to break this one out, because I feel like Al's channel and his Top 100 in particular were like the hobby embodiment of Ken Burns baseball. So, and that's a tremendous compliment. So Al, keep it up. I know you will. And really, really happy to give you one of my votes. Next up, somebody who's definitely a close friend. We text all the time. I love his content. We've spoken on the phone. And he, again, is as nice a guy as you'll meet in this hobby. Ken over at Ken's Cardboard out there in Colorado. Rockies fan, in a hockey fan as well, football fan, Star Wars. I love that Ken's collection and appreciation for cards spans the eras. He's not a vintage only or a modern only guy. He gets into a little bit of everything. A really well-rounded collection. Tremendous Jackie Robinson collection. Really just awesome guy. I'm sure if you're watching this, you're likely already subscribed to Ken over at Ken's Cardboard. But in the unlikely event that you aren't, I would highly recommend getting over there and getting subscribed. Ken, I appreciate everything you do. You know that. We talk all the time. But for your card, I have my very last purchase of 2024, picked up the Nathan McKinnon Upper Deck Exclusives. This is a second-year card of his from 2014, early career, and I got this for a steal, always numbered to 100, and really, really happy to add that to my collection. That was purchased with just hours to go in the 2024 calendar year, so figured that was a good one to show off. Next up, and I've got, looks like 3 left here, my good buddy Josh, aka Peeps, formerly Peeps Wax Packs. Great channel, great collection. Out of everybody on this list, he is near the top in terms of similarity in a ways that we approach the hobby and we kind of form our collections. I've learned so much from his channel and from my friendship with him. He is one of the only YouTubers that I've met in person. And we've gotten together every summer for, I think, the last 2 or maybe 3 years actually running now. Just, again, as nice a guy as you'll meet. I wouldn't have chosen him for this list if I felt otherwise. But him being on this list, I just want to clarify, is not due to us being friends. He really has an incredible collection. So many cards that make me envious when I watch his videos, or that I would love to acquire. And not just the card, but the examples that he finds with, centering and high eye appeal. You hear so much about that, especially the last 3 or 4 years. And Josh absolutely abides by that, and seemed to me to be one of the early adapters of a lot of that. He loves soccer. He loves Negro leagues and niche areas of the hobby, just like I do. And yeah, I consider him an incredible friend. And his channel on its own, though, even if he were a stranger, absolutely belongs on this list. I went back and looked. I think he had around 50 videos last year. So you're getting roughly one a week on average. And it's really top quality content. He's a channel that I strongly feel should have 3 or 4 times at least the number of subs that he does. So out of everybody in this list, if you haven't heard of Peeps, definitely pause this video or head over right afterwards and give him a sub. You will not be disappointed. And since Josh is a soccer fan like I am, I have a nice banger on the soccer front to show off. Kylian Mbappe. This is a finest flashbacks throwback card, but it's the gold refractor on that familiar design from the baseball release in the early 90s, but done up here for football or European football. And a beautiful card of one of the most talented players on earth, numbered to 50, as a lot of modern gold is. So Josh, that soccer card's for you. All right, the penultimate name on my ballot, another one that I've seen on a lot of ballots, and deservedly so, Adam over at Splendid Sports. Fantastic channel, so involved in the community, as much or more than maybe anyone else on my list. I mean, this guy, in addition to hosting Turn Back the Clock with Dylan, he's done his own collaborations like 3-on-3, which I was able to participate in, which was awesome. Just an A+ collector and an A+ community member. He helped John Mangini get the newsletter off the ground. I think he did the website for the Hall of Fame that we're all voting on. So talk about somebody who is involved and at the backbone of the YouTube card collecting community. But really what I want to stress about Adam, it's not just about that. He has like a world-class collection, and it's maybe not the focus of all of his videos to show off his cards. And he kind of does it slowly over time, which I try to do the same myself. He is focused on collaboration and all sorts of other cool things. But when he does show his cards, he just has an insane collection. One of the best that I'm aware of, and I'm not saying that lightly. And again, like some of the other collectors that I've talked about today, I love that he bridges vintage and modern. This guy has a 52 mantle that looks as good as any copy you'll see, but he's also, equally happy with a really obscure Pedro Martinez card from the late 90s. And I love that Adam uncovers every area of the hobby, turns over every stone, is clearly passionate about research. And Adam, I can't wait for you to move out here to the East Coast so we can start hanging out once in a while and talking cards. And really sincerely hope you are inducted this year. You deserve it. And so you get one of my votes. And then we're going to finish off with another guy who might be surprised to see himself here. Vintage Card Steve. And I don't say that because of the quality of his content. I say that because I don't communicate all that much with Steve. Again, I love his channel. I love what he does. There are just so many people in this hobby and such limited hours in terms of free time every week that I don't get around to watching every video I want to or texting and emailing every person that I would wish to. And Steve is another person that I want to get to know more because every time I watch his videos, they're exactly what I love about the hobby. A collector who really just appreciates the game of baseball, its rich history, and the rich history of trading cards. And another guy who shares something in common with me, and that is shouting out smaller channels. I much prefer to watch the content, I don't know why this is, of somebody who's been on YouTube for a month and is kind of struggling to get off the ground or get anybody sent their way in the sea of content. I enjoy those channels as much as the big guys with, tens of thousands of followers. And I know Steve is the same way. He's always shouting out and supporting those new and growing channels. And he's somebody who doesn't just focus on the absolute best players in the game, but he does player showcases on a lot of guys that you don't see on other channels. And as an example of that, the card that I chose, hopefully this one's okay, to represent Steve. Let me know what you think, buddy. But I went with the 53 Topps Dom DiMaggio, a really, really good player who you hear almost nothing about just because obviously he was overshadowed by his older brother or Ted Williams playing alongside him. But somebody who I think Steve would appreciate. He loves that kind of second tier of lesser known stars. And that's my card for you, Steve. So amazingly, despite my ability to gab, looks like I kept this under 20 minutes. Thank you so much to everybody for participating in this and to these 10 channels for their great content and everything that they give to our community. This was kind of fun to do, so we'll see how everything shakes out in a couple weeks. But if you haven't visited any of these channels, please see the links below. I'll be back soon. Until then, enjoy the hobby. Take care.